I heard Dracula is getting married, my friends. I sure hope I'm invited to the bachelor party. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to Castlevania. Castlevania, followed by a little known and underappreciated question mark game called the Cryon Conquest. And after that, who knows? If we do a third game, it will be a Genesis game. But that might be a big if. So if you're hanging around just for that, I want to let you know you might be disappointed. Because I don't know. First of all, I don't know how long Castlevania is going to take me. I don't know how long the Cryon Conquest is going to take. Well, I know how long the Cryon Conquest is going to take me. We're not beating that game. We're going to have fun with it, but we are not beating that game. And then when I burn out on that, I'm going to look at my Genesis collection and pick something quasi-randomly. Hello, Jelly. What a great night to have a stream. I love it. Hello, cows. Cows are important. Great to see you. Bachelor party. It was very, very difficult. Before I started the stream, I was practicing how to say bachelor party over and over. Bachelor. It took a lot of effort. That low quality joke. That low quality joke took a lot of effort to make. So I've been wanting to play Castlevania again because the last time I played this game, I beat it in just at an hour. And I was shocked and amazed at how quickly I beat it. And so I want to see high quality, you mean? Thank you, cows. I appreciate it. I was shocked and amazed at how quickly I beat the game. And I want to try it again because I want to see, was that a fluke? Did I get lucky? Or do I have the skill? Can I become a Castlevania speedrunner? No. But I love this game and I can have some fun playing it, that's for sure. Look at all those glitches. Look at it. Look at the game slowly deteriorating. I haven't done a single thing. I haven't touched a single button on the controller. I was gonna ask. I haven't done a single thing and the game is already falling apart. Welcome to original hardware, my friends. Welcome to an ancient NES. A game console that is older than I am, if you can believe it. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling wacky. I'm feeling ready to have some fun. But before we get started, my friends, I'm going to have to step away from the computer for just a second and see if I can address this glitch situation. So if you'll excuse me a moment, I'm going to get this fixed. And then we'll get right into the game. We'll see. I'm going to run the timer. I'm scared to run the timer because honestly, I think my last playthrough was a fluke. And I just got severely lucky. But I'm going to run the timer anyway, just out of curiosity, and we'll see how we do. So if you'll excuse me just a moment, my friends, I'll be back with you very shortly. Okay, that's looking good for now, but you know how things go around here. And if you'll excuse me one more short delay here, I'm going to get my channel point set back to normal. I've still got my spicy peppers turned off, and as dangerous as it may be for me, I'm going to turn those back on. Alright, so even though I plan to run the timer while I play this, don't worry. This is not a speed run. interruptions are welcome. I'm going to pause it to read the chat. I'm going to pause it to eat beans and peppers and lift weights and all of that good stuff that we normally do around here. And you know, it's going to be just like a regular Frownie stream, hopefully. Except maybe if I can showcase a little skill a little faster than normal. But yeah, I hope we have a good time. Hopefully the glitch ghost will stay banished to the stairs. Well, the glitch ghost can't live in my garage door anymore since he wrinkled it up like an accordion. Like whenever I think about that, whenever I think about something being wrinkled like an accordion, for anyone out there who's as old as I am, you may remember that on ancient computers, when you wanted to print a document, you had to have special paper that had a line of holes that ran along the sides, that the printer had a special gear inside that would turn and move through those holes to crank the paper. And I remember when I was a kid, I loved to you could rip that little piece of paper off. It was perforated. And you could take that holey piece of paper, that strip, and set it on a pencil or a crayon and fold it back and forth and back and forth. And you could make a little paper spring. Whenever I think of an accordion or anything that's been scrunched like an accordion, I don't actually think of the musical instrument. I think of those little paper springs that we used to make when we were kids. Oh, what fun times. I would use those to make my own pop-up books and like birthday cards for like family members and such, because you could cut out a little shape and glue it to one of those little paper springs and glue it inside the book, and then you'd open it up and it would spring out at you. A lot of fun. I love that paper. So much fun to play with. I'm glad to hear it, Chaos. Lala, I thought you were playing. Wow, you're so good you can play with no hands. That's right. I play NES games with my feet. I put my controller on the floor and I step on the buttons. And I do an amazing job. I love making those too. I remember those being the arms and legs of a little Valentine's heart man. Yeah, exactly. Like those are the kind of crafts that we would make, and it was wonderful. That's why I love withered technology. All the nostalgia, all the fond memories. Okay, so let me get my on Discord we'll showcase our childhood art. If you have pictures of your childhood art, that's the best place to post it. I mean, if you share it on the Discord, we're all going to have a good time. Speaking of which, I was talking about Legos the last time we played. I need to get a hold of my folks and see if they can scan or send me copies of some of the things that I built out of Legos when I was a kid. I'd like to share them on the art page. I need to remember to do that. Because I was talking about how I built a replica of Number Johnny 5 when I was a kid. I mean, not a life size. I didn't make a 5-foot robot out of Legos. As incredible as that would be, it was more, like a 10-inch robot. But that's something. If I have a photo of it, that's something I'd be very proud to share. Especially since we're planning on doing a Lego stream later in the week. Hopefully that goes well. Okay, but I got my timer accessible. Again, not that the timer means anything. I'm just running it for fun, just as a wacky experiment. So don't worry about interrupting me or any of that stuff. And here we go. That would be so cute to see. I hope I have a photo of it. I'm worried I might not. Oh no, is there supposed to be music out here? Where is the music? It's so stark. Alright, there's definitely supposed to be music in here. We have a glitch that has removed the music. I can't believe this is happening. I am uniquely gifted. I am uniquely gifted. I'm going to brag about it right now. I am uniquely gifted at achieving the most ridiculous of glitches. How in the world is there no music? Everything else is perfect. Frownie is the king of new and exciting glitches. Hail to the king. Oh. The days before our whole lives were documented. Oh, man. I don't know how I feel about that, because I'm troubled. I'm troubled by the thorough over documentation of our lives, and yet I'm actively participating in the thorough over documentation of my life by becoming a streamer. So I have no right to complain, I reckon. Exactly. Time to play your inventory soundtrack. What? What is my inventory soundtrack? Because you're currently documenting yourself. Exactly. That was the whole... that is the point that I was getting at. Oh, thank goodness. I'm so glad the boss music at least works. Okay, if I die to this boss, I think I will probably reset. Okay, but we didn't. Give me that orb. Got it. I don't know, I've been helping my mom digitize old photos, and I think she documented my life more back then than I do now. Isn't that parents' job? Isn't that the job of parents? To take way too many photos of their kids? To record way too many home videos? Alright, got the crown. So many photos of Tiny Me sitting in boxes. It sounds like you were a cat as a child. The obligatory awkward bathtub photo. Oh, man. The archetypal, prototypical bathtub photo. Okay, I gotta be really focused and really careful here. Things can go wrong for me in an instant. That's very upsetting, my friends. I made it through this whole part of the stage without dying last time, and now I've already ruined it. I've already ruined it twice. I am not. If you are just joining me for the first time, you're a stranger to my streams, I welcome you in. I'm glad you're here, but I gotta tell you, I'm not an expert at Castlevania. I'm someone who's pretty good at Castlevania. I'm working on it. My goodness. Oh, yuck. Why did I pick that up? That's the worst. With a shampoo mohawk. I gotta tell you, when I have hair, and the parts of the year when I have not shaved my head and I actually have hair under this beanie, I may be guilty of making the shampoo mohawk a time or two in my adulthood. It may be something that I've done from time to time. And I say shampoo mohawk, but if I'm being my usual self, and I have to be compulsively honest, I don't use shampoo, my friends. I just use a single bar of ivory soap from head to toe. Hair, beard, body, it's all the same. One bar of just plain ivory soap, that's good for me. No shampoo, no conditioner. No shaving cream. Just my favorite, regular, plain, original, not a sponsor, ivory soap. Medusa, what are you doing? Oh man, I can't imagine shaving that beard using only ivory soap. That's why I never shave. When you have short hair, it's legally required. The shampoo mohawk is legally required. The mohawk is one hairstyle I've never legitimately had. Like, I've played with and experimented with a lot of different hairstyles. I used to have my hair really long, like down past my shoulders when I was in college, and I would do fun and silly things with it. I would braid my hair and things like that. But I never actually tried just the straightforward, legitimate mohawk. It's a bit too late for that, sadly. My balding pattern disallows it nowadays. So I missed my opportunity for that one. All right, money bag. Can I get it? Yeah. Secret money bag. If you're just tuning in, please don't let the timer under my face cam fool you. I'm not a speedrunner. I'm not a pro at this game. I'm running the timer for fun. But this is, as if you haven't caught on from my mediocre gameplay, I'm no expert. I'm just a regular guy playing Castlevania here. I've beaten it a handful of times, and I love the game, and I'm trying to get better. But I have no serious aspirations of being one of the greats. I had one for a while. It was fun, but boy, oh boy, did everyone give me dirty looks all the time. Nice, invincibility. Invincibility is gone. I need to be careful again. Almost immediately. You know, I was hoping those bats would leave me alone while I was fighting the dragon tower, but... I feel like there is an item hidden in this room somewhere. No, don't walk through me. Don't walk through me. Don't hit me. I'm a generally grumpy-looking person, and that coupled with my mohawk apparently gave off unsavory punk energy. I mean... it's a shame, it's a shame that people would look at you like that, but... I mean, I kinda get, like, when you're gonna wear, a non-traditional style or appearance, you kind of... You kind of got to be ready. You got to kind of be ready for people making some assumptions about you. I've been there. Although I have to say, I don't, I don't want to take away, from like the punk cred of the Mohawk or anything like that. But at the same time, I've never actually encountered in real life someone with a Mohawk that had sort of the abrasive traditional punk attitude. I'm not sure what, if any, conclusions to draw from that, but it is an observation that I think I can safely make. Also, though, to be fair, my data pool is very limited. I have encountered very few Mohawks IRL. Ironically, I shaved the Mohawk for cosplay, the nerdiest and least threatening reason for the hairstyle. I don't think I've ever done a cosplay outside of Halloween. I don't know if Halloween costumes count since they're not done. I guess it could be argued they're not done for reasons of pure fandom, the way that a cosplay I imagine typically is. And to be clear, I'm talking about dressing up for Halloween as an adult, not as a child going trick-or-treating. So candy was not my motivating factor. Although it is pretty easy to motivate adult Frownie with candy. Thank goodness. I guess I'll pick up that knife since there's... I can't believe. I thought there was something in one of these. I thought there was something in one of those blocks. I can't believe there wasn't. That's just fantastic. I think Halloween costumes can count. All right. Now I'm trying to think. It's been a while since I've dressed up for Halloween. I guess some of my more recent Halloween costumes were Simon Belmont and Little Red Riding Hood. Both good choices. Have y'all played Crystalis? That's probably my favorite NES game. I haven't played it. I think I own it. Let me take a look. I have an incomplete and suspect inventory of my games. That's what I'm referring to, because I know I'm constantly talking on stream about how I need to inventory my games. I'm working on inventorying my games, and that's because I need to. and so many of them are not listed, but I have an old inventory that's woefully out of date. It says I have games that I don't, and a lot of the games I have are not accounted for. But something like Crystalis, which I do appear to have, that's not something I would expect I would have gotten rid of. Most of the games I've unloaded are games that are they're either foreign games that I can't read, or I have duplicates of, or they're games that are like sports games that aren't going to do me, a non-sports guy, a whole lot of good. It's better that these sports titles are out there circulating where someone who can play them will have a chance to buy them than me just hoarding them and sitting on them. And yeah, it looks like I have Crystalis, so who knows? That might show up on the stream some night. Oh no. The game didn't appreciate me pausing it like that. What a hard time I'm having here. So my time to beat is 1 hour. If I can beat the game in under an hour, I will have done better than the last time I played it. That's looking not very likely at this point. I've done way worse than I did the last time I played it. Yeah, I want the holy water. I fell off the ledge too early. I think I actually bought Crystalis. I feel like I bought it. So I lived in Houston, Texas. I lived there when Hurricane Harvey happened. And I got trapped in my apartment because of the flooding for like a week with no electricity or food or outside access or anything like that for a week. It wasn't bad. I was prepared. I had lots of peanut butter and beef jerky. I was okay. I didn't suffer through it. I mean I suffered through it, but it wasn't more than I could take. But anyway, I lived in Houston, Texas when Hurricane Harvey happened. I got trapped in my apartment, and so I spent most of my daylight hours reading old issues of Nintendo Power. That was how I entertained myself during the hurricane. And I believe that what happened was I read about Crystalis during that time. And so when things like got sort of back to normal after the hurricane, I went out and bought it. And I say I believe because there were a couple games I got around that same time, and so I'm not exactly sure which of them, but I think the games that I discovered in Nintendo Power and bought discovered during the hurricane and bought afterward were Crystallis, Solstice, and Conquest of the Crystal Palace. That Fleeman dropped a rosary. Nice. Invincibility? They dropped a rosary and invincibility? When has the game ever been so kind and generous to anybody? Puzzles are my go-to during power outages. Just gotta sit really close to the window for enough light. From my experience, that checks out. I've been through a lot of power outages. I've been through a lot of power outages and such. I lived in Western Kentucky. I mean, I grew up in Kentucky, but I was in Western Kentucky when there was an event about a decade ago. There was a huge ice storm that took out power for a lot of the area for up to 6 months. And, oh boy, was that a time to live through. That was right after I graduated from college. I was living very near to campus. But, like, they knew the storm was coming. They sent everyone home. They knew the storm was coming and they sent everyone home. But the thing was, a lot of people, you know, like foreign exchange students and just, you know, people who didn't have the means couldn't go home and had to stay on campus. And they had to live there for, like, I think it was 10 days without any power. And I worked in the cafeteria at the time, and since I lived close to campus, I walked into work every day and I worked like 12 and 16-hour shifts every day. And we were cooking. What we did was we set up charcoal grills with sheet pans on top of them to make sort of makeshift flat iron grills, and made sandwiches and fed the whole community for free. Like anyone who is trapped on campus of the college and anyone who lived in the town, you could just come in and get food, hot food for free. It was an amazing time. Oh, I've lost a life and been sent all the way back here. It's terrible. That was really good for me too, in a way, because they had cut my hours in half like 2 months before that happened, and so I was kind of struggling money-wise. But then after putting in all that extra time and walking in during that emergency situation every day, because I couldn't drive to work, I had to walk because no one was plowing the roads around where I lived, because it was just out in sort of the back streets that no one cared about. But all that coming into work and working overtime and walking in, my boss really appreciated it, and he put in a word for me, and they made an exception of my scheduling and gave me all my hours back. So it worked out for me really well. I have tons of Harry Potter puzzles. They make me quite happy. I have I don't have a lot of like traditional jigsaw puzzles. I've got a Mario Brothers 1 jigsaw puzzle I've never built. And I think I have a couple. I actually think I have a couple sort of like new Super Mario Brothers styled puzzles, but they're made for very young children, so like they, you know, it's a puzzle with like 5 pieces, like gigantic pieces, so it wouldn't be a challenge for an ordinary adult to build. I might, you know, judging by my gameplay here, I might have trouble with it, but most people wouldn't. That's awesome. I like hearing those charitable stories in those emergency situations. Well, thank you. I mean, I like to... I mean, I don't know. I recognize that it's not something that everyone would have been willing to put up with and do, but I mean, I like to think that most of us would be willing to work like that in a, you know, in then that kind of situation. I'm gonna need to do really well / have a lot of luck in the second half of this game to make up for a lot of nonsense. So here's the thing, like, do I risk this? I'm gonna risk it. Nothing ventured, nothing gained, right? There's a piece of meat back here that I skipped that I can go back and pick up. I'll have to fight the bone dragon again. Not this one, but the other one. But maybe I can do it without losing more health than I gain. Maybe. Got him. I wasn't sure it was going to happen, but it did. Yes. Oh man, I'm at 30 minutes. 34 minutes. For someone trying to beat this game in an hour, I'm going really slow. Hey, thank you for the trophies, cows. Leave me alone, skeleton. I don't know what it is about this game. I really like this game. I like the slow, stiff, awkward controls. I love the spooky horror setting. I really like this game. I often forget that enemies can drop items. It seems to happen so rarely. This guy, he drives me crazy. He despawns himself all the time. This guy, you can trick him into walking into your holy water. Don't want the axe. Don't want that at all. This level, unfortunately, is typically a huge roadblock for me. I can easily spend upward of an hour trying to grind my way through this level. If I can stay alive, there's a wall meat up ahead, but let's not count our chickens. My cat has been sound asleep on the chair beside me, then randomly jumped a foot in the air, hissing. Never seen that reaction to a dream before. It's so amazing to watch cats sleep because they dream and you can tell what they're dreaming about. I mean, in general terms, like, I mean, who knows what made your cat jump up and hiss, but... Like, my cat, when he sleeps, it's so amazing because he'll be sleeping, and then he'll start doing this... with his mouth, like, smacking his lips. Like, you can tell he's dreaming about food. It's just... It's amazing every time it happens. Every time it happens. Oh no, I let him get away! We can't be having that. Oh! Oh no! I'm the king of bad luck. Oh no, tombstones in chat. Oh, we're in for a rough ride, my friends. I had it so easy. I had every advantage and I wasted it. Oh, I can't believe that happened. That is the worst. Oh no, we're gonna be here for hours now. I've never gone back down the stairs. Does the meat respawn? Nope. The bricks don't even break again. Oh, I cannot believe that happened, my friends. Oh, we are in a rough, rough spot. We might be here for days now. He's usually eating in his dream. Kitty was battling the glitch ghost in his dream. Oh, and we're all the way back here at the top. Oh, the spookiest thing about this game is my foolishness, my friends. If you're gonna be scared of anything, that's the thing to be scared of. How ridiculous can Frownie be? And the answer is yes. That was a whole lot of hearts to waste on one enemy. Oh, I thought I had that. I thought we beat death and we're out of here, and... Oh, that's what I get for thinking. What's going on? What's going on? Give me that chicken. Okay, you know what? We just won't worry about the guy downstairs. Just let him do what he's gonna do. I rolled into town with every single advantage. I defeated death, and then I died to a projectile that was just hanging around. Oh my goodness. It's gonna take a long time for me to recover from that. I like that heart, but I don't want to mess with a red skeleton any more than is absolutely necessary. This is bad. This is bad. This red skeleton is messing up my life. I've got a less than optimal amount of health. You think I messed this up again? Considerably more careful that time. Okay, I think we're on the last stage. Yeah, there's all these bats I don't really know how to deal with. Oh, yuck. I mean, that's better for dealing with the bats, but my strategy is kind of to not fight them. As you can see, it's a great strategy. Hello, X2601. Beating Castlevania is one of my greatest adult achievements. So I agree with you. I've made this achievement several times already, though. You're not watching a first playthrough. You're not watching an expert playthrough either, though. I'm definitely a clown when it comes to Castlevania. And many other games. Oh no, I picked up the knife. What bad luck is this? Don't hit me, don't hit me. No. This game just has some real magic about it. I was sort of speculating earlier and just saying I don't know what it is that makes me love this game so much. But I like the aesthetics, I like the clunky controls. I like that it's fairly short. So anything that I don't like about it, it doesn't have that long to bother me. Alright, here we are, Dracula. Hello, Piku Seru Show. Thank you for the follow. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciated, my new friend. Okay, as I said, I'm no expert, so I'm not really expert at fighting Dracula either. We'll be here a while. Hello. Thanks for dropping by, and thanks again for the follow. Dracula, master of appearing exactly where I'm standing. It's the thing he's most talented at, I think. Oops. That's no good. First phase Dracula is a troll. I couldn't agree more. Oh, yuck. Oh, no, I can't believe I've gotten hit twice. I mean, I can believe it, but I'm just... It's a shame. It's a shame I've gotten hit twice. 3 times. Oh, no, we're doomed. We're doomed. Dracula, no. No. Can't you appear a whip's length away from me, Dracula? That's the optimal place to appear. That's what you should be doing. If I were a vampire, I would never appear closer to someone than a whip's length away. I think that's I just think that's a good standard rule to abide by. Thank you for the tombstone, cows. No! Oh, what a spoiler. And hello, Radiaz Kilfonte. Spoiler alert, Dracula will rise again and again. Most of the times that he rises will be directly inside of my sprite. Nice. I didn't expect to get a hit on him there. Oop. No. Stop appearing inside of me. Oh, yuck. That was all my fault. That was terrible. I'm embarrassed. Oh, what is with this last hit? It's the hardest one to land. The last hit's the hardest one to land. Oh no. Oh no. I'm going about it all wrong. I gotta jump and hit him. No, I'm dead. Oh, that should have been so easy, and yet I made it so hard. So hard that I failed. As fun as it is to complain about, I'm not really bothered or surprised that Dracula spawns where I'm standing so often. I mean, it seems like that's the natural choice, but it has to be on purpose, right? It can't just be a coincidence. It has to be programmed that way, that he has a higher probability of spawning where you are. No! My goodness! I'm not very good at fighting Dracula. Wow, I'm too slow on a lot of these hits. By just a fraction of a second. I can't believe I'm not getting some of these. What? Thought he was... Kind of thought he was too far away that time. No. Got him. I'm really, really bad with the holy water. That's it. No more holy water. 2 more hits, though, right? 3 more hits. Got him. All right, we did it. We did it. And right at my, like, arbitrary time of approximately an hour. I mean, we can't deny that time there. That is approximately an hour. What is it? An hour and 2 minutes? Hey, thank you, cows. Thank you for the trophies. Excuse me. So it wasn't a fluke. I can beat this game in approximately an hour. I believe this is slower. This is slower than the last time I played it. But only about, like, by, like, 4 or 5 minutes. Which I know to, like a real speedrunner or whatever, 4 or 5 minutes is, like, a million years, but to someone casual like me, like 4 or 5, what's 4 or 5 minutes? And the most important thing, we had fun doing it. Another weird and wacky time with a whole bunch of you know, we got some classic Frownie glitches, the no music on stage 1 glitch. That'll go down in the history books, and the amazing wasted defeat of death. Whoa. Those are some good moments. Alright, my friends, that wraps up Castlevania, though. It's been a lot of fun. I'm glad I came back to it. We'll move on to our next thing for tonight. Thank you for being here for this adventure, but now it's time for another. I'm going to step away from the computer for just a moment and get switched over. We're going to play a game called the Cryon Conquest. It's a game I haven't really played very much. I don't know. You could call it a first playthrough because I've played so very little of it, but I don't know. You'll see. You'll see. It's a game. It's going to be a rough time. We'll play it. We'll play it until I run out of stamina. I don't expect that we're not going to beat this game. Don't count on that. But hopefully we'll have some fun trying. So just hang tight a moment, my friends. I'll be right back with you.